Well, hippity hoppity, Easter's on its way, and the plants are starting to bloom in colors here. And we're with Judy Henry here at the Potting Shed. And Judy, you have a great project for us, right?
We are going to do a great project. So we are going to create what they call a parallel design, is the official name of it. But it's more like just a nice little Easter hippity hop that you can walk through your little spring garden with your little bunnies and your birds. It's a really great little thing to put together. So we're going to start with our little container here, and we're going to put on some sphagnum moss, which is nice because we can stick it right down through. And I've glued my foam in, that way your little hippity hop little arrangement does not fly away on you.
Right.
And we can leave it in some pretty whole pieces, slide it down in there, and just fold it over. And once we get our flowers in here, all this moss will stay down. So we're just going to cover it so you don't see any of that foam. We're going to start with some tulips and some carrots.
Oh.
So the tulips, we're just going to cut this. These are great. They used to always do bushes where everything would be attached at the bottom, and they still do that some. But a lot of them now are doing it where you actually get multiple stems. So it's easier to work with because you have the whole stems. You're not dealing with something that's short.
Right.
So these are nice. So what we're going to start with is we're going to just do our tulips, and we're going to come up with some height. And these are fun because you kind of do it just like the tulips would be growing outside. We're going to do it in a group here and then a group here.
Okay.
The tulips will be in one group, and then we have our fun little carrots so that it looks like, from the bunny's point of view, you have to remember we're at a lower level.
Yes.
We're not at the higher level.
And these are beautiful. You offer these here, these beautiful, they're so like, they feel lifelike.
They feel lifelike. The tulips, they have done an amazing job with in bringing them into feeling lifelike and looking lifelike. So we have all of our tulips all at a different level, even though it doesn't have to be a lot, but you want them at different levels because if you put them all at the same level, it doesn't look right. It doesn't look natural. The next thing we're going to add is a little pussy willow stem. So we're going to cut him off, and he can be pretty tall because think about the willow trees. You know, they're kind of above the tulips, so we want to do that. And we're going to open him up just a little bit. You don't have to do a lot because this one kind of does what he wants already. But it's the nice thing about silk florals is you can just bend them around so that they're where you want them to be. The next thing we're going to add is some fun carrots, and these are just really pretty. They're wrapped in what looks like jute, but I believe it's sisal. They have a little bit of green on them, so they add a little bit of Easter fun. So we have that started. The next thing we're going to add is we have some cabbage here, which is the epitome of Easter, right?
Yes,
for the bunnies to eat.
The bunnies are hungry.
And the way I got the picks in, because they come without picks, is I actually drilled a hole into them and then stuck the pick into them. That way it stays, it doesn't fall off. And we're going to spin this around. And we're going to put this one over here. So it's gnarl him right underneath the tulips. And then we're going to spin him around. And so that we can balance him out, we're going to put the other green one right down on this end. So then we have it there. Now our next step is, I like to put the bunny in kind of early so that we know where he's going to be. So what we're going to do, we're going to use this little guy that comes in, it looks like it comes in a pizza box. It's called an Oasis anchor. And we're going to put some glue on the bottom of it. And the one thing nice about it is hot glue. So what happens with hot glue is it doesn't actually adhere here. So if you don't want it on your rabbit later, if you set it down in some water, it separates. So it's nice that you haven't ruined your rabbit forever. Usually the glue will come off again. So we're just going to stick that on there. So next what we're going to do, we have some iris and some daffodil, which look at these daffodils. Are these not amazing?
Oh my gosh.
And they have little tips of orange on them so that they go with our orange tulips. And the iris are amazing, and they add a nice punch.
That color.
Isn't that color amazing?
Gorgeous.
And again, we want to do it in layers. So we're going to put him up there, and we're going to bring the next one. We're going to put him down here. So again, he steps down, keeping it very natural. The next thing we're going to add in there is we have this great little pick. These are wonderful little things, and we can cut these apart, and then we'll have this little guy with the bee. These bees are so happy.
Look at the thistle, how
I know, the thistle.
These
are really great little things. And then we're going to stick one over here. So it's just going to give it a little bit of length so it just doesn't end at the end of the container. You want to have it hang over a little bit. And then these little guys are really a lot of fun. We're going to put one out here, just to fill in a little bit at the bottom of that iris so that our centerpiece is two-sided. We're going to come over on this side with it and put it here. I'm going to put in the daffodils now, which are beautiful. They'll pull the orange through, so we're going to kind of put them on this side of the arrangement, maybe right in here. And that way they kind of pull the iris that'll set that whole section down for you. And you can fluff a little. And then the next thing we're gonna add is we have these great forsythia, because what's a spring arrangement without forsythia, right?
Absolutely.
And these picks, again, are nice because they do just sometimes tear apart. And then you can cut that end off, and then we can add a little bit over here. The other beautiful thing with an arrangement like this is you can stop, because we have the moss in there. At any time when you feel that you've had enough in there, as long as it's balanced, you can stop, because you want it to look like they're walking through the garden. So a pathway of the green moss is just fine, because you want it to be just natural and pretty.
Absolutely. And this bunny would have a really good time with those tulips.
He would have a really great time with those tulips, yeah. They would be non-existent. All right, so then that is our forsythia. Now we're gonna add one more little element, which is a nest. Because in springtime, the other thing that we have out there all the time are birds. And we're taking a wire. I just did a hairpin on the wire, and we're gonna stick that down through it, and we're gonna give that a twist. And then that way, again, that will sit right in there. Make it set flat, because you know birds' nests don't survive on an angle.
They
so
don't.
Make it sit down there flat so that the little babies don't fall out. So now we have our nest in. Make sure you put it flat so that we know that the little eggs don't fall out.
Right.
Then we have some little eggs that we're gonna put in there just to add a little bit so that you know it's not empty. So now that we have our eggs glued in there, it's a great little piece that you can use for Easter, or even if you pull these guys out, replace them with something else, it can last a little bit longer than springtime or a little bit longer than Easter, because your iris and tulips will go right on through June.
Oh yeah.
And bunnies are out there all the time. So the potting shed offers a lot of different things. We not only offer silk florals, which we keep it a high grade of silk florals. We want them to look real in your house. We don't want you to come in and think that, oh look, that's fake. We want people to come in and go, oh my God, that's a beautiful real centerpiece that you have there. We also do live plants, we do pots. In the springtime, we bring in all our organic herbs and vegetables. So we're a mix of both. We have some books, we have gifts, we have children's section. We have a great children's section. So there's a lot of different things that the potting shed offers. It's so worth the trip to come on down to Stroudsburg to see us. So our address is at 931 Ann Street in Stroudsburg. We're directly behind American Ribbon, and you can find us on Facebook at The Potting Shed Stroudsburg or Instagram at The Potting Shed 931.
Thanks, Judy.
You're
Happy
welcome.
Easter.
Happy Easter to you also.
Thanks.